If you had a fish cock, I would still be your friend. I wouldn't fuck you, but I'll still be your friend.
A fish cock.
I mean, that might be the next thing. I mean, if you could make vag out of tilapia, just imagine some guy whips out his cock and it's a fish head.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because that leads me right into the next. Leads me right into the next story, there, Bob.
Oh shit! All right. Why did I have to say that? Go ahead.
The Connecticut sex assault suspect who pulled his cock out in court to prove it didn't match the accuser's description was found not guilty on Friday.
All right.
Jurors in New Haven cleared Desmond James, 26, of 3 counts of sexual assault 2 days after he showed in the flesh that he doesn't fit the accuser's story of being raped by a black man whose junk is lighter than the rest of his skin.
Interesting.
It's not that light. It's not the right one, his lawyer said. The victim had picked James out of a photo lineup after reporting that she was raped while walking home one night by a dark-skinned black male with big lips and black people hair. That was her description.
So an afro, basically.
I guess that's what she meant. There were a number of troubling aspects in the terms of the allegation. It evoked negative racial stereotypes. Why is that a negative racial stereotype?
I have no idea. Really.
I don't know the answer. It's just like if you were to say that a person of color, a black person, was black, is that a racial stereotype?
Well, I guess if he had a white cock, maybe.
He said, "We felt in general that it didn't describe our client. But the biggest mismatch was the descriptions of the attacker's private parts." We're not talking about the Howard Stern movie here either.
Right. I hear you.
So the only evidence that Boussard offered to support James' innocent was to have his client stand in the middle of the courtroom and pull his pants down and whip his dick out.
Was Judge Aiken present?
I don't think Judge Aiken was present on this case.
You think Judge Aiken would have sentenced him to 2 hours in his chambers?
Right. The exhibit was especially eyebrow-raising because the judge didn't warn the jurors that what they were about to see.
Fake judge.
And some stunned onlookers averted their eyes as James walked in and silently dropped his pants and whipped his dick out.
Wow.
He had to look away.
Now, did the judge order him to whip his dick out, or he just did it voluntarily?
I think he knew he was going to do it, but he didn't warn anybody. By the way, this guy's going to whip his dick out so you could see it, but I don't think he told anybody.
Okay.
Now, here's the cute catchphrase here. The ballsy testimony was embarrassing for James, especially because court workers suddenly filled the room to see the show.
So they knew he was going to whip it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
But worth it in the end. They ogled his cock, Bob.
Wow.
If your liberty is at stake, he was willing to do whatever it took. It didn't get James out of serving hard time. It did get James out of serving hard time, however. He already was doing 65 years behind bars for breaking into a house and raping a 10-year-old girl, according to the records.
Wow.
Any thoughts, Bob?
Well, let's turn the tables a little bit. Say if the person in question was Jeff Tate. Now, we all know he has a black cock.
That's right, according to Jeff. He's black from the waist down.
You know, I recently interviewed Jeff, and a great guy, honest guy. I don't think he would lie. Would he lie about that?
I don't think so.
We'll all agree, come to the understanding that, let's say, for the sake of argument, he has a black cock. Now, would that make a difference? If it was a white man with a black cock?
It might, if that's what the defendant described.
Okay. Interesting. So what ended up happening, or was there any...
Well, they acquitted him of that rape. They said, couldn't have possibly been him because the way the girl described him doesn't match exactly what we're seeing here.
But if they're taking a 10-year-old girl...
Well, he was already serving time, but they brought him in to charge him with this crime, potentially.
I gotcha.
And they said, nope, that wasn't the dude.
But if she's getting raped, how would she know the color of the dick?
Well, apparently she took a pretty good look at it.
Interesting. Well, you got me baffled there, Neely. I don't know what to say. I don't know what... But speaking of Mr. Tate...
Yes.
You know, there's all this controversy. I was just thinking about this. You probably heard about it. You know how they do with what they did with the Native Americans, as far as giving them, what's the word? Giving them for the injustices they've had in the past. Giving them
reparations.
Reparations. That's the word. Now they're talking about doing it with black people.
Yes.
My question is, if it's Jeff Tate that goes in, he's got, you know, like with Native Americans, they do it as a percentage. You're quarter Native American, you get a quarter of your share.
Right. You get 25% of the reparations.
Absolutely, reparations. So if you have a black penis, how would that be like measured on weight? Would they have like a scale? Would he have to put his penis on a scale? Would it be body weight, or would it be measurement? Would they have to break out the rulers? What if, I mean, he said he was, you know, does he have black balls? I mean, what if he put steel balls in there? It would make the weight more, so he would get more. You know, it just is baffling me. I don't know. You understand what I'm saying?
I think 10% would be a fair assessment.
10%? Okay, well, you're underestimating Jeff Tate's penis, maybe. Maybe his penis is more than 10%. Maybe his penis is 22 inches. You don't know that.
I don't know that.
For more than 10%.
Right.
Do you think Jeff Tate ever listens to these episodes? He has to get word about it.
Well, yeah, he does, and his daughter monitors the show periodically.
I love Jeff, but when you make a comment like that, you gotta expect some ridicule.
Of course.
But no, when as soon as you talked about that, that just reminded me of the opposite. Jeff Tate. Anyway, so what's your view on it? I want to know what Judge Aiken's view would be.
Well, Judge Aiken will be back next week, I'm sure, but you know, this guy whipped it out in court. He said, "Hey, take a look. It doesn't look anything like what this chick described." Everybody agreed and said, "Yep, right, not guilty."
What do you think, Neely? Guilty or not guilty?
I'm going to go with not guilty. I mean, I didn't see him whip it out. I didn't hear the testimony, but I'm going to trust that people got this right.
Well, I will go with the jury. I mean, if that's what they saw, and that's and it is as they say, a ballsy move for a guy to whip out his dick. But if that's to prove your innocence, good for him.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right, Bob, believe it or not, hour 5 has already flown by.
Holy crap.
So we got
Good. I'm surprised I made it through this. I was actually a little bit nervous. Thinking a 6-hour radio show.
Yeah. So we got
a little bit groggy. I'm gonna need to refill my drink here.
All right. Well, we got 55 minutes, so I'm going to let you pick another tune from your selection that you sent over, and we'll play a couple of tunes, and we'll come back and wrap up the show.
All right. Let's do. How about a great band out of Sweden that I was working with, managing in the early 90s. They're also featured, or their music is featured in the Inside Metal movies. Features Göran Edman on vocals, who of course sang with Yngwie, and my good friend Jan Granvik on guitar. Phenomenal guitar player. You got the Glory song, Set the World on Fire?
Let me see here. Glory? Yes, Glory. I do.
Okay, can you follow that up with something?
Sure.
How about Billionaires Boys Club? Something Wicked Comes.
All right.
And, that band is a very underground band. They had an album out in Germany on Polydor. It was my good friend, old roommate, Jörg Fischer, the original guitarist for Accept. Him and Wolf Hoffman, of course, were the original guitar players. Jörg had a band in, 92 or 93, I think the album came out. Your good friend Mark Bowles on vocals, and Anders Johansson on drums, and Hammerfall bassist, who later joined Hammerfall. He was originally in Billionaires Boys Club, but I can't. Magnus Rosen on bass. So, yeah, go ahead and play a Glory, Set the World on Fire, followed by Billionaires Boys Club.
Excellent.
Both the European great melodic metal bands I think you guys will enjoy.
All right. Well, here it is. This is Glory with Set the World on Fire exclusively here
on your Classic Metal Show.